Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I am continuing our lecture on ethics. In this class, we will discuss some very important areas like the legal status of suicide in India, the Mental Healthcare Act, and research ethics, and even military ethics also. Don't worry, we will go step by step with simple examples so that you understand everything clearly. Now, first let's see how India looks at suicide legally. Earlier, if someone even tried to commit suicide, they were treated as a criminal under the IPS section 309. Imagine that, a person already in pain, and instead of help, the law punished them. But in 2017, things changed with the Mental Health Act. Now, attempting suicide is not a crime. Instead, it is seen as a cry for help. For example, suppose a student fails in an exam and tries to harm themselves. Earlier, police could actually punish that student, but now instead of punishment, the law says they should be given medical care and counseling. The act also focuses on dignity. For example, children cannot be given electric shock, and the approach must be treatment, not like the punishment. Now, key features of the act. Now we see what are the key features of this act. Okay, first, it gives people the right to decide their own treatment. Like, imagine someone is suffering from a mental illness. They can write in advance who should take care of them if things got worse. Second, the act says that affordable mental health care should be available in every district. For example, just like we have government hospital for fever or injury, and every district hospital should also have counselors and psychiatrists. Third one, the insurance companies must treat mental illness like a physical illness. For example, if someone has a depression, their treatment should be covered by insurance, just like diabetes or heart disease. So the act is trying to bring mental health to the same level of importance as physical health. Now move on the next slide, that is challenges in implementation. So but now comes to the question, like, if the act is so good, and why the problem still there? Because the lack of awareness. The many people don't even know about this law. For example, a farmer in a village may not know that suicide attempt is no longer a crime. Second one is stigma. Means the people feel shame to talk about mental health. For example, a student with anxiety might keep it a secret, afraid of others will laugh. Okay. So next one is shortage of experts. India has a very few psychiatrists compared to its huge population, and also the rural urban gaps. The cities have good hospitals, but in villages treatment is still very poor. So the law is strong on paper, but real change will take time and awareness. Next one is research. When scientists test new medicines, they use something called randomized clinical trials. In this method, one group gets the real medicine and the other group gets a dummy medicine called placebo. Now here comes the ethical question. Is it right to give a dummy to some people, especially when the medicine could save lives? Example, suppose a new cancer medicine is being tested. One group gets a real drug, the another group gets a dummy. If the dummy suffers or dies, is that fair? This is the ethical dilemma. Okay, now move on to the next slide. That is beneficiaries of research. Another big issue is who finally benefits from research. For example, a new drug is tested in a poor country like Uganda. Poor mothers join the trial to save their children. Later the drug works, but it is sold in rich countries like the USA at a very rich, means very high prices. The same poor people who risked their lives in a trial cannot afford it. This raises a clear moral questions like, shouldn't those who helped test the medicine get the benefit first? And in fact, this really happened. HIV prevention drugs were tested in Africa, but those African countries got the medicine much later. So fairness in research is as important as discovery. Now next one is military ethics. Yes, the just war theory says soldiers should only fight soldiers. Innocent civilians must not be harmed. The prisoners of war must be treated with dignity, not tortured. For example, in World War II, many civilians were killed in bombing like Hiroshima. Today, such acts are considered violations of military ethics. Now another issue is refugees. That is, for example, the war in Syria created millions of refugees. Ethically, should other countries help them or just ignore them? That's a big question. Even the choice of weapon matters also. For example, chemical weapons are banned worldwide because they cause unnecessary suffering even beyond the battlefield. So you see, even in war, ethics plays a very important role. So what do we take from today's lecture? Whether it is suicide law, mental health care, medical research, or military conduct, one idea runs to all of them is human dignity, right? Laws and ethics are not just about punishment or rules. They are about protecting life, reducing suffering, and ensuring fairness. Finally, that's all for today's lesson. I will continue with more topics in coming days, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and take care, and see you soon in the next class.